the viewers. I guess we click this button and we'll see what happens. You're listening to Squatch Talks Podcast. Real stories and real encounters told by real researchers. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Preparing.
Oh my heavens, there it is.
Hey. Welcome back to Squatch Talks Podcast.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Yeah, we thought we'd jump on Facebook for a change since we did live streaming on YouTube last time. Haven't done one of these in a while, right, Nate?
That's right. People on Facebook forget how cute I am.
I'm getting cuter all the time.
That's right. The more of my face I cover up, the better looking I am.
I shaved. I actually let my goatee come in the other day.
Yeah.
Heather likes it for some reason, but I cleaned up nice for tonight. I got my new shirt on.
That is a nice shirt
from Joni. It's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah.
And other than that, lots going on actually. A lot of stuff to share with the viewers. I know.
Get into it.
Hey,
tell them what's going on.
Where do I begin? Where would you like me to begin? We've been talking for a few minutes, kind of warming up.
Well, I think you should leave the big announcement for a little later.
Keep them hanging in there a little, right?
Exactly.
That's cool. Well, hey, first off, we were, like I mentioned, live streaming last week. And Tyrell from Yeti Brothers out in New Mexico posted, if you recall, and letting us know that the Squatch Talks podcast bar would be available in a couple of weeks, hopefully. It takes a couple of, 2-3 weeks for soaps to cure, apparently.
Right. Yeah.
So, I'm going to anticipate hearing from him. I'm just checking to make sure that things are streaming properly, since last week I had some technical difficulties.
They are. I'm watching it right now.
Oh, awesome. So, well, thank you.
Yes. I'm looking for comments, but I forget how to get that to show up.
I'm gonna let us talk a little bit about some stuff, first, let people get on, since I didn't announce that we were doing this, All right.
Right.
Now I'm on as Squatch Talks Podcast. And it is streaming. Thank you, everybody, for coming on board and checking us out tonight. I didn't announce anything. We were just chatting, and I said, hey, Nate, want to do a live stream? So when you want to chat, I think you have to just go to comments, right? I didn't announce anything. We were just chatting, and I said, hey, I just hit something.
Yeah, that's the wrong button.
But yeah, if you hit comment, it comes up, see?
Yeah, I don't see comment.
On the very bottom of the post, it should say it.
Oh, there it is.
It's now asking me, hey, Squatchy guys. Hey, Donna. Everything's great. Better and better, I always say. Got big announcement tonight, so all excited. But let's see if we, I didn't put out there anything about it, so hopefully it's going out and there's people getting notifications.
Donna's on.
I said hello to Donna. Yes. Oh,
I missed that. Sorry. I was
thinking.
I was thinking, and that's hard for me to think and listen.
Multitask. I know.
Yes,
it's a guy thing. We're not good at multitasking.
That's for sure.
It's asking me now if I want to watch on my TV. Should I go?
No.
But I'll leave this up so I can see if we have any questions in the discussion. But other than that, like I was saying, I'm sporting my new attire, and Nathan's beard is growing longer and longer, so he'll be suitable for wearing the costume in the next expedition. Be looking all
I thought you meant the red suit, the black boots.
That's still a while away, but
that's right. At least I don't have to color it much.
Yeah, true. That's a good point. Neither would I. That's why I don't let it grow. But yeah, I don't know if anybody remembers our last episode where we were talking live with the Sesquibas, and I mentioned some of the casualties, I think, with the track cast that we were making molds of. So the new material has arrived, which is a good thing. We're going to get the silicone this time, not the rubber,
Right.
and hopefully it won't destroy anything. But first I had to remake a couple of them using dental casting stone so that I can recast them so we can make the new molds.
Mm-hmm.
So I did finish putting together the Meldrum cast from Walla Walla, Washington. So that's intact once again. And I've got about half of my Pine Barrens cast together.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
That's
still
good.
in the drying stage. But if you recall, I was saying maybe I can put what I have into the mold that I made and pour casting material onto it.
Yeah,
And who
that'll work.
knows?
That'll
I'll
work.
have partial original and partial new, right?
Mhm. That'll work. Yeah.
It's a shot.
It'll
Patrick
be-
thought it was a great idea. So we'll see. But I got my delivery of the dental casting stone. So we got enough for doing some molds and also expeditions, right? I was talking to Brian before we went on.
Mhm.
See how he's doing, and he's doing well, misses everybody. And I mentioned to him that with these molds, I can bring them on expedition rather than us having to, dig up the sand or bring play sand or
push
use,
them into the dirt or whatever.
and potentially break them doing that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I have molds now.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
doing the same thing. You still mix it up the same and just pour it in.
I'm still demonstrating
Yeah.
what I would do with an impression.
Yeah. If
I'll
we
put-
don't find any real ones.
Well, we generally do find something, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, we've been pretty fortunate in that regard. And speaking of finding things, I should have loaded it on my computer before we went live. I meant to tell you, I got some thermal hits on
Yes.
Sunday night.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Don is asking a question. He's making molds of the casts with silicone so we can recreate the same cast over and over again. Not that we're pouring silicone into the track. We're
Right.
not pouring silicone into a track. We're pouring it around an already done cast of a footprint to make multiples. Then we can just pour the stuff in the silicone and make, a lot of them.
The issue was, however, that in the process of making the molds, I destroyed 3 casts.
Yes.
But I did have something good come of it, and we're going to talk about that very shortly.
Yes.
That's
the big news.
Forgive me while I'm looking I want to share with you
Your
my thermal. Yeah.
thermal
It's
hits.
interesting. Jacob,
Yes.
our friend Jacob, and I have been researching a certain area where you've been with me in the Pine Barrens, and Andy had that samurai chatter last April. Okay.
Mhm.
With Willow, his dog. And so Jacob last Wednesday had an intimidation encounter, which is why we, decided to just do a live stream and talk about that.
Right.
And so I went back with him that night. We did a night up. Then Heather and I went out last week and we did a evening hike. So we got there before dark and then hiked while it was getting dark. I left out a couple of apples, right, at the spot, and a jar of peanut butter with the lid on.
Mm-hmm.
Did I mention this to you? I forget
Nope.
if I talked about this.
No, you did not.
See that?
This is
I
all
mean,
new.
Breaking news, folks.
Breaking news. That's right.
Now, the apples, and that was when Jacob and I had gone back. Okay.
Okay.
So we went back out there. I'm getting my nights crossed now because obviously the night I went out with him was when I left the apples and the peanut butter, I think. Okay. So then we went back out a couple of days later at night, and the apples were gone and the peanut butter jar was gone.
Nice.
And it's right by the canal that comes off of the creek there. Okay. So I'm looking into the water to make sure it didn't roll, because I had it in a crux of a tree that was on the ground, kind of sitting right there in the Y.
Okay.
Couldn't find the peanut butter, but I was using, red headlamp. And I wound up locating it about 10 feet away on the bank with the lid off. and something had scooped out peanut butter.
That's good.
No lid to be found. Couldn't find the lid. So I put the peanut butter jar back into the crux of the tree and stood it back up with the lid off. I figured I'll leave it out there for him, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so Heather and I then went out and took a hike, like I said. Yeah.
Was the peanut butter jar squished in any way that the lid would have popped off? It was intact.
It looked like something with an opposable thumb
Would have
had
had
to have removed
screwed it off. Okay.
Right.
Just saying, like something like stepped on it and got it to pop off, you know.
Good question. Yeah, no, and like I said, the apples were kind of high up on the tree, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they were both gone. So this is right across the canal from where I hung the turkey, the Thanksgiving turkey.
I know where you're at then. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get anything on that game camera. But and I'm not putting the camera out here with this because it's right off trail and stuff, you know. I don't want to take a chance. But so Heather and I then decided what's today? I guess Monday, this past Monday, take an afternoon hike and got out there before dark, hiked up the trail from the 1-lane bridge all the way to the spot. I did see a blind off into the right in a cedar area of the forest. Could probably be a hunter's blind, like a camo tarp or something.
Okay.
But I made note of that because I was wondering, is somebody living out there and are they the ones who came up on Jacob that morning? Who knows, right?
Right.
Although they probably would have said something.
You would hope.
You would hope, yeah.
Yeah.
And I reached out to Jacob and he's aware of that. He's come across it and it is, I think, a hunter's blind.
Okay.
So, but Heather and I went back out and checked the peanut butter, make sure it was still around, and didn't have any activity. We hung out by the 1-lane bridge for a little while afterwards, and it was getting dark. So, but then Jacob and I went out Sunday.
Okay.
So I left something out. I'm sorry. Sunday was when I went back with Jacob and found the apples missing and the peanut butter opened. Okay. So Sunday night, we were out there for a few hours, but we didn't get out there till 10 o'clock. Okay. So we met later than usual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he was actually 15 minutes late. So I learned something while I was waiting for him because, you know, I hate being out in the Pine Barrens at night by myself in the dark. It's pitch black.
It's creepy.
Yeah. And I'm in a vulnerable spot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I had my therm. So I rolled down the window. And I'm thinking to myself, man, something could just be up on me in 2 seconds. It's that quick, you know? So I therm and I see the side view mirror, right? And you know how you can't therm through glass?
Right.
I look into the side view mirror. I could see the reflection behind me in heat signatures.
You can therm through it. You can mirror
therm with a mirror. So like if I wanted to, I could therm using a mirror and like aim it behind me. You know what I mean?
That's
so
good
I actually
to know.
stuck. I'm telling this because I learned this. I stuck my hand out the window of the truck and I'm therming. I could see my hand white hot in the reflection of the mirror and see in front of me. Yeah. So I learned something new. I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody ever did.
How does that work? Do you know what I'm saying? You would think the mirror would just be cold.
Yeah.
It would show up black.
That is weird.
It's really weird. Damn, that AGM 384, you know.
Yeah.
What is it? The TS 384? I forget now.
I don't know.
TM?
I don't even have mine anymore.
Did you not find that?
It's gone.
Oh shit.
I'm pretty sure I know where it went and it was stolen. So but anyway, let's move on.
I should do something.
We'll move on from that.
All right, but I learned something new while I was waiting for Jacob. So then, like I said, the two of us, he pulled up and I was like, hey, look, why don't you pull up behind me? I said, why don't we go hike up the trail first before we go to the next spot? Because he had a different spot in mind. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I discovered the apple's gone and the peanut butter opened. Okay. So then that night we were hanging out. We went back instead of going to the maple spot, okay,
Yeah.
we decided, you know what? This looks like a great spot right here. It's by water. Let's just stay here.
Mhm.
So we set up a little base camp there, and then we're hanging out and did a couple of provocations, a couple of wood knocks, let them know we're there. Heard some coyotes.
Good.
Heard an owl again. And I'm therming and I see a heat signature. So, I got a target. And it looked like it was tree peaking. I wonder if I can bring up that picture.
I hope
But
so.
it turns out, I don't know if I loaded it onto the, where the heck is it? Yeah, I think that's it. You want to see the picture of my hand?
Actually, I do. I'm intrigued to see how this works, actually.
It's pretty cool. Let me see how to do this. Where am I? All right, gotta go back here and share screen.
Technically challenged. We struggle sometimes.
I'm telling you.
Oh, it's
There it
coming
is.
up.
There it is.
There it is.
So that is my hand out the window. Okay.
You can see the mirror.
You can see the mirror and you can see the heat signature too. Okay. The
Yeah.
reason you can't see real clarity there, like this is the ground. The reason you're not seeing this real clear is because my hand
It's focused on your hand.
It's focused on my hand.
Yeah.
Look. Can you see that now?
Yeah. No, I see it.
No, I'm looking on, unless there's there it is. You
That's
can see it.
the
Yeah.
mirror. Yeah.
But do you see what I'm talking about? You can see the rear of my truck.
Yeah. Well,
That
you can see
is
the
a
woods.
reflection.
You can see the trees.
It's a thermal reflection.
That is wicked. I can't believe that works.
I can't believe I was able to switch pictures without screwing something up.
No, that's cool.
So that's
cool.
and then, okay. So next picture you're going to see once it cycles through the three I just clicked on. Give it one moment. That's my truck. For the viewers, I'm letting people know.
Mhm.
Do you see now what I'm looking at right here? I don't know if my cursor is visible to you or not.
Yeah.
You see that target there? You can't judge distance with a therm.
No.
So I wasn't sure, but I was, like I said, just kind of panning. And I saw off in the distance a real clear heat signature.
Wow.
And which is exciting at its own, because for so long we've not seen any real life in the Pine Barrens, like at night. I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, wow.
You see what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, I see what you're looking at there.
I just made it enlarged. So in a moment, the viewers will also see what I'm looking at.
Right in the middle. Yeah.
Okay. And so it appeared to be doing a tree peaking.
Yeah.
And of course, I had handed Jacob the FLIR Scout. And he's looking through that and he's like, I don't see anything. I'm like, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah. That it is.
So I just clicked to another image. So again, it was far off, but I wasn't sure what the height of the subject was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just switched the picture. This is the next picture I took. And, you know, I was excited because I was seeing what I thought was something tree peeking at us. And I couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just going through the photos so you can see.
That looks.
It looks like it's in like the crux or between two trees.
It's between two trees there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyway, you couldn't hear anything either. That's Jacob. I'll let the viewers get a glimpse of Jacob before I advance to the next one. Hey, this is in real time, folks. We're live. Okay. And anybody who's just tuning in, welcome to Squatch Talks Podcast. We've got some big announcements coming up. Stay tuned. This is just from a recap from our recent exploration in the Pine Barrens. Okay. This is the view from where we were. The river was going towards us, actually, in this photo.
Right.
And the next image you're going to see is interesting. This is what I wasn't sure about at first. It appears to me to be a beaver, but it seemed too slender. Does everybody see that?
Yeah, looks beaver-esque.
Looked beaver-esque, but then he mentioned we have muskrats and weasels and also otters, river otters.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know they had river otters in New Jersey.
I didn't know that either. This is another picture.
Oh, that's a freaking, it's an otter now. Yeah. Now that you say that, I bet you that is an otter.
Well, it does have otter characteristics. I didn't really research it, but you see this one? That to me, yeah, looks more like an otter but then you see back here,
its tail's pretty thick. Yeah, like a beaver tail.
That's what makes me think beaver again.
Yeah.
And the weirdest thing, the next photo, it's even bigger. Okay, this was the close-up I got. Just as I got this picture, I went walk, walk, and it dove down under the bridge, but it didn't do a tail slap. And that's normally what a beaver would do.
Yeah.
Right? Angry beavers. Okay. It did a dive silently, and I lost it. Then it went upstream, and I found it again on therm, way down by where the creek was turning.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really make out anything in clear definition at that point. But, good to see some life. This isn't what was in the tree, though.
Well, no.
All right, I'm going to stop sharing and bring us back on. How was that, huh? It's pretty cool.
That's pretty neat. He is just a wealth of information, that Jacob. He is just wonderful that we ran into and have him as a resource.
As a research buddy now. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And he doesn't mind going out with me. In fact, he enjoys going out there, and we've got plans to really investigate this area, at least before the expedition, and see if we can't maybe find where they're coming in, right? Because I think they move around, like we've talked about. Various areas they have to move from time to time, every few weeks or every month or two.
Yeah, well, and as warm as the weather's been, I'm sure they're moving into their spring areas.
Exactly. That's what we were discussing, that this is probably the time when they start to think those thoughts of love in the air, right?
Well, maybe.
I'm not sure what the gestation period is of one of these individuals, but this is definitely the time when animals and people start to think of those things. So who knows?
Not me.
Not you?
No.
Me either.
All right. I think we've waited long enough.
Well, couple of announcements. Our Squatch Talks podcast bar, thanks to our friends at Yeti Bars. The brothers at Yeti Bars are hard at work. In fact, our bar is curing as we speak. Okay. Instead of saying Dixie Cryptid, it's going to say Squatch Talks podcast. And we had some confirmation from Tyrell last week about the scent. Do you remember?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Instead of the bourbon, it's going to be caramel.
That's right.
Caramel and coffee, two of my favorites. And again, I was hoping for the bourbon and coffee. That's a hot thing right now. And for those ladies out there, this is the Shroot deodorant. Shroot's more of a floral type scent.
Right.
Love it. And Heather's enjoying this. That's a deodorant, all natural. So that's another product that you can get right now at 25 to 35% off. They're having their spring clearance sale at yetibars.net. And if you insert STP10 at checkout, you get an extra 10% off and help us out in the process by supporting our show. And to some point where they get free shipping too, right, Nate?
Yeah, $75.
I think so. Yeah, in that range,
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for the heart. So that's exciting. So that's one thing. We got the coffee in the works also with Lake's Coffee. I'm drinking my Squatch tonight, right? Squatch from our friends at Black Rifle Coffee Company, who are still potentially going to sponsor us. They did well in the race up until the end at Daytona.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the car got wrecked though with my buddy Martin Truex. Not good. But yeah, the Squatching Brew. Hopefully, we'll have that coming soon, and a couple of other varieties from Lake's Coffee available at Health Haven in the near future. So be talking to them, and we're working on some merch and also some new casts will be available
Right.
by order. So we'll have them, available to order as well. Just got in the dental casting stone the other day, so we are raring to go. But the big announcement. Are we there yet? Yeah, I think we're there yet.
I think we're there
enough
yet.
people watching. The
Yeah.
big announcement is, if you recall me saying when I destroyed the casts, okay, in last week's episode, I was able to glue the recast of the Patterson Gimlin track cast, and this is the Meldrum track cast that I got in Ohio. She's once again intact, and according to Jeff Meldrum, even stronger than before.
That's right.
Thanks to Elmer's glue.
That's not the announcement, though.
But that's not the announcement. The true announcement is drum roll, please. Joining us next week on Squatch Talks podcast is the one and only Dr. Jeff Meldrum.
That's right. Here, live and in person.
Has graciously accepted our invitation.
Yep.
So we're very excited to speak with Dr. Meldrum. Of course, we'll be talking about the morphology or the mobility issues with the feet and all that. He's got some pretty interesting scientific theories about that, but we're also going to delve into some of these other questions that Nathan and I were thinking about asking him about some of his previous stints, right, Nathan?
That's
with,
right. Yeah, that with
Todd.
That's it, Todd.
And I don't mean Prescott.
Yeah, Todd Standing. Get his take on that.
Exactly, and
I want to know. I've never heard him talk about seeing any, so we got to ask him those questions. And if anybody else has questions that they want us to ask him, Squatch Talks Podcast at gmail.com. Email us. We'll ask him all kinds of dumb questions, whatever you want. We'll ask him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be exciting because you know what? I was really very pleased when I met Jeff back in Ohio at the Bigfoot conference. Very gracious, very interesting to listen to. And I mean, I can't believe he came back so quickly, because I know I've spoken to other people that say, oh, I messaged him but never heard back from him. He must get thousands of emails, right? And he responded right away. Like, yeah. That's
really cool.
Yeah. So,
Definitely cool. Yeah. It's one of the nice guys, He's sharing, he's going for the big, everybody has to share to get to the end of the rainbow, so to speak, share all the information. I wish Delwyn would get back to me.
Hasn't gotten back to you yet?
No.
I'll get Heather to reach out to him.
Yeah, that'll probably work better.
The squaw.
Yeah, the whole squaw thing. I'm
sorry if I'm offending anybody. I didn't know what squaw was. I'm sorry.
I still don't.
I don't want to pull a Don Lemon.
Well,
hey, that's exciting.
I think it's going to be great. We get to talk to somebody with that much knowledge and get to ask him our questions, and I think it'll be great.
So if you're interested, brush up on your Sasquatch research out of the field guide. This is from
Mhm.
Jeff. Very interesting to have on with you if you're going out into the forest. We'll talk more about this though when we have Jeff with us.
Yeah.
And he's also the author of Legend Meets Science, sitting up there on my top
Mhm.
shelf.
Yeah, and he did that monster quest at
Snell Grove.
Snellgrove Lake.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
who was the other anthropologist? I think it was, or biologist. It was a biologist, Chris somebody or other. We'll have to watch it over
We'll have to
again.
watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll brush up on our Meldrum history. But yeah,
Well, and he was on that Legend, not Legend. That's not
the
the one I
one that
wanted.
we did
The
the proof is out there.
the proof is out there. That's the one I wanted to
It was
say.
either History Channel or I forget.
I think it was Discovery, but
One of them. Yeah,
yeah, I don't remember exactly.
that's our
But that
most
was
watched
good.
episode.
Yeah, that was a good show.
Indeed,
Is the proof out there? So
he was all excited by that, digital work they did on the film. So
yeah, that was
Hey.
incredible stuff.
that's going to be something interesting to discuss with him also,
Yeah,
And I told him, 45 minutes to an hour. I didn't want to keep him too long,
well, yeah, well, we're
We'll
gonna
see how it goes.
definitely gonna talk to him as long as he'll sit still.
Exactly. But no, I'm excited. Very pleased to announce that. And so we thought we'd just jump on tonight and do this real quick. And I'll throw it up on YouTube Saturday night at 8 in case anybody didn't get a chance to see us here. Okay.
That's right.
We'll clean it up and put it back out there.
For sure. But yeah, questions, definitely Squatch Talks Podcast at gmail.com. Ask us some questions. And
if you have a report you'd like to submit too, I'm thinking about doing some shorts where I maybe read some people's stories.
there you go.
That's a good way to get us out there. I think also do a little quick short, just with an encounter. Okay, doesn't have to be. You don't have to give your name if you don't want to. If you wish to remain anonymous, we're cool with that. Otherwise, if you want to use your first name or your whole name, that's cool too. But hey, you know what? I'm seeing all these channels growing who do these encounter stories. And since we need to get back out and make some more of our own, I mean, Jacob obviously had one, right?
Right.
We've been out there. But if you have stories you wish to share with us, we're happy to talk about them or even have you come on as a guest.
Sure.
Right. So, and nasbro.net is a place where you can submit a report as well. nasbro.net. And of course, at bfro.net, we have a couple of expeditions planned in southeastern PA in September. And the New Jersey Pine Barrens one is this June 8th through the 11th. So be sure to register because slots are filling up.
Yes, they are.
So, hey, I want to thank everybody for tuning in and hanging out with us. I see we had some people checking it out. And
yep. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for squatching.
Right.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Squatch Talks Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us a like. And stay tuned for more exciting stories on Squatch Talks.
This live video has ended.
Very good.
Very good.
Hopefully this cheered you up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Got your mind off of things,
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo! That's awesome. Recording. I paused it. How you doing?
Not good.
Now, what's up? Okay.
I'm reading too much news.
Yeah, that'll do it. I don't know. The news is definitely something that can just make you feel,
Yep.
That's why I try not to. In fact, I didn't have the news on at all today. Like I said, I watched a few different podcasters.
The Civil War is going to be here long before World War III. I tell you that.
I pray it doesn't happen, of course, but the way things look, something's brewing.
Yeah.
And it ain't our Squatch Talks coffee.
No.
Although I am drinking some Tacti-Squatch tonight, thanks to our friends over at Black Rifle. Today's Ash Wednesday. I didn't get my ashes because I didn't want to have ashes on my forehead when I came on tonight.
Yep. Yeah, we're going vegetarian here.
Are you?
Yeah.
Heather and I were just talking about it a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something I'm thinking about. But then I said to her, but I can't be a vegetarian on expedition.
Why?
Because we make burgers and hot dogs and
Oh.
bacon and, you know.
Oh, yeah. Treat
Am I
now
right?
and again. Treat now and again ain't gonna hurt us.
No, I would. Hey, bacon s'mores.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. I miss them. Got my new shirt on.
Cool.
Customer gave that to me. So yeah, it's kind of a neat shirt though. It's got like this patty type stance, but you can see the face, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in like this dark setting with like almost like a tie-dye forest type of thing going on.
Yeah, I like the color. Yeah.
Yeah. Got big news. Are you sitting down?
Sure.
I can see it. I decided to send Jeff a message today while I was, and he already got back to me.
Really?
He's on for next Wednesday, bro.
Cool.
How's that?
Very cool. Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So he's
I
got
like
us
it.
down on his calendar for next Wednesday. I gave him the next 2 Wednesdays to choose from.
Our seasons keep getting shorter.
Honestly, they're not.
Hold on a second. I gotta move my light.
Go ahead.
No more dark spot. Oh man, my freaking contact turned.
Happens every time.
Yeah. Every time it turns, it happens.
Look what I got.
Cool.
Let's see all the chips in here.
Are you allowed to remake them and sell them? Is that copyrighted?
I guess we'll ask Jeff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know this one you can do for sure because that one's not copyrighted. Nobody owns that one.
Right. And nobody
But being that
my Pine Barrens one, obviously.
Right. But being that they sold like the patty one, I don't know if that's copyrighted or I don't know if that shit can be copyrighted.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
It's a footprint.
I don't know.
I mean, all I got to do is smudge it a little bit, and then it's not the same.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
Leave off a toe. Or add a toe.
Right.
Oh, and speaking of toes,
What?
I got 25 pounds of dental casting stone delivered yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
And they gave very detailed instructions with it this time, too.
Oh, yeah?
More so than last time, you know, with the weights and measures and stuff. And I'm like, 100 grams? I got to do math.
Right.
But no, they did say that if you use excess water, it affects the integrity of the cast. So
Okay.
there is a balance, you know, and temperatures can affect how long it takes to cure.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But these are things we're going to get into next week when we talk with Dr. Jeff Meldrum here on Squatch Talks podcast.
I don't know. What are we going to talk about with Jeff? We should think about that too.
You got a copy of Sasquatch Legend Meets Science, right?
I do, but I don't know where it is right now.
But hey, we'll have to, you know, do a little
Make sure it's back there.
and brush up on our. I have the Sasquatch field guide as well that he gave me. I mean, we'll talk about that and TrackCast and you know, of course, I'll thank him for helping me with the gluing.
Has he ever seen one? Did he ever tell anybody if he's seen one? That's what I want to know. He's been out in the woods with all these different people, like Todd Standing.
He had one experience with Todd that he briefly saw something moving, but nothing that he would write home about.
He was up at that Snell Lake place too, wasn't he? When they did the
Snell Grove.
Snell Grove, when they had the footprint with all the screws.
I'd love to talk to him about that.
Oh, that's freaking rude. That the poor thing stepping on. Oh my God, that had to hurt.
They weren't the ones who left the trap out. That was the cabin owner who did that.
Okay, that's right.
The people who owned the cabin did that to deter a bear from coming in.
And then it had to, but it was a footprint then. That's right. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
you're right.
They drew it on because of,
Yeah, well, but you could tell, you
you
know.
know.
Yeah.
The thing I want to ask is, why were you guys hiding in the cabin when the rocks started getting thrown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. We usually go toward the rocks.
You go towards the rocks.
Yeah.
With your thermal camera. Come on. I was watching Terror. Was it? No. It was the after we did the Dixie Cryptid live stream early on.
Right? Yeah.
And the three of us went on. We were talking about it. We were all giddy, and you were all at Twitter, right?
No, we were all at Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. And we brought up a couple of our experiences, and one of them was your PA expedition, and we were talking about Delwyn.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, he told me I couldn't procreate or something, and he was offering to like kind of fill in. You went, you spilled you spit your drink back into your glass. And Brian's like, yeah, I think you want to do a different kind of rain dance.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we should get Delwyn on. Him say you gonna die, Kimosabi. You want to hear something funny?
What?
When we were at Smithville, historic Smithville, a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And we had lunch at Fred and Ethel's, right?
Where's that?
In Smithville. It's the
Yeah,
tavern.
where's Smithville?
Oh, it's historic Smithville Village. It's near Atlantic City.
Oh, okay.
On the outskirts of the Pine Barrens. It's right near Leeds Point, where the legend of the Jersey Devil originated.
Gotcha.
And so we go down there periodically, do a little shopping, have lunch. I get my tavern burger. That's going to be tough to give up going vegetarian.
Mm-hmm.
And then go into a couple of shops. There's a patriotic shop where I got the Squatch last time. And then I went over to the Man Store, which is where I got those coasters from Heather. And I also got that metal cutout of the Bigfoot with all the animals in there and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
that came from him. This guy, Jeff, I think his name is. He's a musician, very talented artist, owns the shop. That's where I got my camo hoodie also. And there were two people in there when I went in. Heather went to the shop next door. And they're looking at Bigfoot stickers in the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the guy says, let me have the one that says world champion hide and seek, hide and seek world champion or something like that. I go,
right.
It's one of those Bigfoot cliches. I said, that's almost as bad as Bigfoot saw me, but nobody believed him.
Yeah.
And they look at me like, right?
Who the hell are you?
Yeah, like, who the hell are you? And, just behind the counter, getting them the stickers. So I said, hey, you like Bigfoot? I said, I'm Eric. I said, I'm part of the BFRO. I do expeditions, and I have a podcast with my friend Nathan, Squatch Talks podcast. Oh, cool. And I forget how it went, but it's funny because Heather then joins me after they left, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, weirdest thing. Those two people that were out there just were talking about this Bigfoot, and she said, I knew I recognized that guy. One day, right? Maybe we're walking down the street. Goes, hey, Nathan, keep Squatch on, brother.
Thanks for squatching.
Thanks for squatching.